Today on 99 Garage, we're installing a product from ISR. It's a pod filter with a unique twist. It's a MAF directly mounted filter, so it gets rid of a couple of components. Should be a nice install. Fortunately, the guys over at Injuku helped us out with a ISR Performance pod filter. Now, pod filters are very common. You can get those filters off the shelf. Now, what makes this one different, you ask? So this one here, again, by ISR, standard pod filter on everywhere except for on the back. So the back here gives you an opportunity for Nissan guys specifically, or especially rather, to bolt this filter directly to the MAF sensor. And what this does is it lets you get rid of the coupler, the extra clamps, loose hardware, stuff that makes it longer to fit in the engine bay. Maybe you're going to hit your cold pipe or hot pipe rather. It's just a tight little area to put a filter. So this here saves you a good inch or so of space. I'm really interested to see how it fits, how it works. I imagine it'll work like most filters, but getting the extra little space, cleaning up the engine bay, will probably be a big help. So let's go check it out.
Alright, first let's start off with the tools of the job. You're going to need a set of needle nose pliers to remove the metal clip on the MAF connector, flathead and Phillips head screwdrivers, a ratchet with a 10mm socket. I'll be using a swivel for the job, and 2 ratchet wrenches, both 10mm. Preferably something short or a swivel if you have it available.
Alright, so today we're working on a 13. This is an SR20 setup, as you can tell. You can see what I'm talking about earlier about how crowded the engine bay is right in this area. Most people have the relay box, hot pipe, blow-off valve possibly, and then the pod filter we were talking about before. So as you can tell, this car, it's extremely tight. It's actually touching the hot pipe, which isn't good. So what we're going to do is we're going to introduce the ISR filter. And so you can already see it's already physically shorter than this cheaper filter that's on here now. So that's going to give me a little more range, a little more room to work with, as well as I'm going to get rid of down here, if you can see it, I'm not sure, but there's a pod filter adapter to MAF, right? And so I'm going to be able to get rid of all of that completely, and that's going to save us a considerable amount of space. It'll free up a little bit of real estate, if you will, and get the hot pipe off the filter. That'll prevent rubbing and chafing into the filter, as well as it'll just clean it up. It'll tuck the filter down a little bit lower. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, let's start with taking the connector off the MAF. I find the easiest thing to do is using a flathead screwdriver. Is to right here on the side, you get the screwdriver underneath the metal bracket, the little retainer clip rather, and you pull it out and you get it just started, and it gives you a little spot to get your pliers on. Alright, so you pull it out, grab it with your pliers, and then carefully remove it, walk around the connector, and remove it from the connector. So that's what it looks like. It's a little rectangle piece, right? Open end on one side, and if you lose this, you're gonna have to rig up something to keep that connector on. It's a pain, so it's a little piece you do not want to lose. Once that's off and out of the way and safely protected, you just reach up, pull the connector off just like that, exposing the pins.
Loosen the clamp on the back side of the MAF in order to remove the MAF and filter as one assembly.
Now remove the old filter. In this case, it's just a simple hose clamp with a flathead screwdriver rather. Alright, and we're going to hopefully free it. It's been on there for some time. Hopefully free it from this old adapter that's been on the car for a long time apparently. So here we go. Come apart. Yep. There it is. So as you can see, we're going to be able to remove this piece of cast aluminum, which is the old pod adapter, a clamp, and this very large filter. Here you can now see, let me move this out of the way, the difference in size. I'm hoping the camera's picking that up, but the depth there, we're going to gain over an inch. Plus, you get rid of this rubber that can fail over time and a hose clamp. So it should clean up the install pretty good.
Now that you've gone ahead and disassembled your old pod filter setup, you might want to take liberty to clean your MAF sensor with a cleaner that you can get at really any local auto parts store. Once you've done that, we're going to go ahead and replace your old crusty filter and adapter for a new ISR pod filter. This filter has several holes for different MAF sensors. To determine which holes you will be using, you will pair up your OEM or aftermarket MAF sensor. Alright, so now you got everything lined up, we're just going to take our hardware, start running it down. Alright, so now everything's assembled. Got this nice little package. It should bolt right up to your intake. Alright, so one tip we wanted to mention is before you go ahead and reinstall the filter, be sure to get your metal retaining clip onto the connector. Alright, so now let's get this filter back on there. As you just saw, everything went great. The car is performing flawlessly.
Remember, keep it 99.